Hey friends, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll tell you what, this is take 2 with my interview with David Dees because I was forced to update Skype and it completely screwed up my audio settings, my video settings. We did an interview, I checked it, no video. Called David back and said, you know what man, let's do it again because this book we're going to talk about, Volume 3 of Dees Illustrations, is worth showing. David was kind enough to send me a signed copy. David, thank you so much for doing that.
Hi, Sean. It's an honor to be back with you. I want to tell you that Book 3 is the third in the trilogy. I don't know that I'll ever do another book, but I might. But the 3 books together work as nearly 300 illustrations that are evergreen. You know, some of the things I did on GMOs and chemtrails back in 2006 are just as powerful today, and I still see them being used in videos. So this is, as an activist, you must appreciate how important it is to me that I did some art, and now it pervades the internet. So, yeah, Book 3 is my third, and here's a copy of it. You'll notice right away that the cover is way different than anything I've done before. See? This is an ayahuasca ceremony that you're looking at here, and it actually is 2 covers. There's this cover, and then if you turn it this way, you have a new cover. And it's the hardcore stuff I do, you know, with the chemtrails and the cell towers, the 5G. Don't you love the new 5G towers coming in?
Yeah, they're trying to kill us from all directions. I notice you have the death by sky machine there, the geoengineering, and of course the vaccines, the 5G. But what I really like a lot about this book is that when you flip this system upside down, as YouTuber Jonathan Kleck has told us, you see what they're really up to. And what they've loved to do for, well, a millennia, is destroy God's creation and try to lower all of us, all of our vibrational states. They flood us with pornography. They flood us with drugs. They flood us with violence and sex in their TV, on TV and in their movies. And they want us to turn to our reptilian brain. They want us to embrace the lowest common denominator because they know we have power, David. We have collective power. We are made in God's image. We have vibrational, spiritual power, and we need to turn back to that. We need to understand it, and I think more and more people are.
We are vibrational beings. We are energy. We're not physical matter. You have to know this, that they know this. They're the enlightened ones. What do you think that they're enlightened about? They're trying to take everything from themselves. It's okay, so in the book, let me just say this, is that I do have this very important page. There's actually text. I write 17 ways to raise your frequency. Why would you raise your frequency? Look at this. They did an experiment where they took water and they beamed their emotions into it. Beamed. Well, they basically yelled at the water, or they praised the water, and look at the structure of high praise and high frequency in the water, and then as you go down, look, if you say "I hate you" to the water, look what happens. Now we're, you know, what's it, 65%? We're 65% water, 70% water. Imagine if you are critical of yourself every day, if you're saying things, or if you're in an environment that is you're being inflicted by these low frequency, or if you're even around cell towers that are low frequency. Holy smokes! This is very dangerous to your health.
Oh, it sure is. Well, and I want to say something about that. The rice experiment. Many people have duplicated and done the rice experiment. You guys can search for this on YouTube. Just go check out the rice experiment. 3 exact canisters of rice. If you say "I love you" to one of them each day, and you say "I hate you" and "you're ugly" to the other, and the third one you ignore, you get different results for all 3. And the one that you say "I love you" to still looks like edible, delicious rice after 30 days. The one that was told "I hate you, you're ugly" starts to decay and turn black and become repulsive. And the same is true, I think, David, you're right, about our own chemical structure, our own water. If you're going to tell yourself every day, "I hate you, you're ugly, you can't do it, nobody likes you, you have no friends, you're a loser," if you input those messages every day, imagine what you're doing to your own crystalline water structure. Versus if you say, "I love you, God loves you, you're beautiful, you're unique, you're one of a kind, and you can make a difference because you're special." If you give yourself those inputs every day, imagine the type of person you can be. I think it's very, very powerful. And the other thing I want to say about this book, guys, is that it reads a little bit like a magazine in some spots, which is a little bit different than some of the others. You go into the Antarctic here, a little bit of the flat earth stuff, which I do find a little bit interesting. There's a lot in here, and it's $35, guys, at ddees.com. And if you want to get all 3 volumes, he's got a deal for Christmas, $75 at ddees.com. Now, I don't get 1 penny from this. I just want to support the artist, David Dees. And if you want to support him too, head on over to ddees.com.
Absolutely. Very true. What were you saying before about the frequencies? Is that in this book, you will be able to access your real power and who you really are. That's how powerful I feel this book is. Is that this is the most important thing. I feel like I've almost gone to the mountaintop. I'm here to tell you is that you can change your life by raising your frequency, and you can become who you really are. Because we're not. They know. If they, like you said, shower us with pornography and these the terrible news and this constant bombardment of frequencies, is they're going to keep our power down, and that's what they want. So this book is an empowering book, and that's why I wrote it.
And it's important to talk about these things with our friends and neighbors and colleagues. And if you buy the book and you put it on your coffee table, well, it's going to definitely spark some conversations with the sheeple people when they come over for that turkey dinner at Christmas. David has been covering these issues since 2006. He used to be an illustrator for Sesame Street, and now he's doing the Lord's work, I think, trying to wake people up. And his work certainly stands for itself. He's been exposing the Federal Reserve, our debt-based monetary system, unconstitutional wars without end. He's talked about Zionism. These illustrations, you guys, here's the bottom line, as you well know. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then David's illustrations are worth about 100,000 words. And that's the important part. It sparks conversation. Right, David?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get lots of letters from people who have put this book on their coffee table, and their friends and family. They were over for the holidays. They sat down and studied it, and I'm telling you, it is quite an eye-opening thing. And even if you're not into it, it's so entertaining that you can't put it down. So it's a very powerful instrument that for waking people up. I'm telling you.
It's a truth instrument. I like that. It's a truth instrument. It's a strategy in the war to wake people up. Why don't you show the magazine again, show the book again, the publication again there, and just take us through some of these images just briefly. And I know, guys, stay tuned. This is a short and sweet interview with David, and go to ddees.com to check out the book and get one for yourself. But he's got a surprise for us here in a second, so stay tuned for that. David, put up the book and just take us through some of your favorite images. Why don't you take us through 5 or 10 of your favorite images? Okay.
Well, if you dive right in, you're going to get into chemtrails and all these things. The Bitcoin is going up. How about that? Look at this Bitcoin that's taken off. I don't know. Do you have Bitcoin?
Yeah, I do. I own some Bitcoin. I own some Ethereum, some Litecoin. It's been quite the rocket ride.
And look at this guy.
He's the New World Order's favorite boogeyman now. They even hate him more than they hate Putin. They keep telling us he can hit any American city with a nuke, which I find very hard to believe.
It's a little bit like the villains in the old Batman series, don't you think?
Yeah, it's like the villain in a Bond movie.
And look at this. Here's a cashless society, and you got the house of cards is a house of credit cards that are electrocuting and controlling the cashless man. So it's and then also I have my boiled frog in there. You have to understand about the boiled frog.
Show the folks some of the more written pages that read more like a magazine. You've got the Antarctic piece. Show them that maybe.
Yeah, now this, you're talking about this side. If you flip it over, it starts into this whole nother book in a way. It goes into some of the 16th century maps. It talks about the adventures to the North Pole, Admiral Byrd and his diary when he went to the North Pole. Yeah, this is a transcript from his diary. And see, I illustrate what he saw. He didn't see just Santa Claus and snow and ice, I promise you. And then the South Pole, the Antarctic, has got an ice wall that's 150, 200 feet high that is inaccessible. Do you know this?
I do know this. I know they won't let anybody go down there. It's locked down by the military in different nation states.
Yeah,
so it's a no-fly zone.
Yeah, I talk about Operation High Jump here. I talk about the Antarctic Treaty. So I'm basically starts to read almost educational-wise. I show. There's a little flat Earth stuff in there. It's a lot of fun. We have to look at all the possibilities, right? And there's some Standing Rock. There's a good Standing Rock piece. This book. Like I said, it also works together with the other 2 books. You put these 300 illustrations together. I've made quite a statement. This actually brings it full circle. This brings it all the way back to the spiritual element. I put everything into this book. This is my favorite, actually.
Excellent. All right, guys. Well, head on over to ddees.com. Support the author. Support the artist. His name's David Dees. He's been doing this since 2006. You've seen his art. Your art's hijacked by everybody. Everybody uses your art in their videos and on their websites, and a lot of times without credit, without any credit back to you. But people do recognize the art. It doesn't look like any other art out there.
If these were songs, I have a lot of hit records, because there are some
That's right.
that have circulated for years and years, and it's amazing. I can point out to them. I've got about 30 or 40, 50 of really viral pieces, which is amazing. I love it.
Well, imagine what you'd be worth if you'd only gotten a nickel per view. Every time somebody saw a piece of your art, a nickel a view, you'd be doing very well. So, guys, he's given all this art. He's donated the art to the world really for free. So he does it in his own time. So if you want to support the artist, head over to ddees.com. And before we go, David has a special treat for us. He's a musician. He plays a little bit over at the old folks' homes every now and then, which is very, very nice of you to do, David. So what do you got for us here?
Well, I'm going to do can you hear that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, good. I'm going to do an old Roger Miller song called King of the Road. Trailer for sale or rent, room to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. All but 2 hours of pushing broom. Buys an 8 by 12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. Third boxcar, midnight train, destination Bangor, Maine. Old worn out suit and shoes. I don't pay no union dues. I smoke old stogies I have found. Sure, but not to beg around. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. King of the road. There you go. Al, you there?
I am. I'm muted, so we can get some nice sound quality for you there. So, David Dees, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, head on over to ddees.com, pick up the book. And, David, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sean. It was fun.
All right, brother. Play us out.
All right. Well, I was born in Dixie in a boomer shack, just a half a mile from a railroad track. The humming of the drivers was my lullaby, and a freight train whistle taught me how to cry. I got the freight train blues. Lordy, 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 I got 'em in the bottom of my rambling shoes. When the whistle blows, I gotta go. Oh, Lord, I'm never gonna lose these freight train blues.